So David Carlucci is a former Democratic New York State Senator, and Cassie Smedley is a former RNC press secretary. Welcome to both of you. David, I'll start with you first. So take this event that's happening today, and you've got Kamala Harris. They're bringing her back, and they're bringing her back virtually, and it's pre-taped. So what's the goal here? I mean, is this the best way to win back, I should say, that younger voting bloc?
Well, look, I think we've got a diverse group of ideas in the Democratic Party, and our diversity is really our strength. The division, some say it's messy. This is what democracy is all about. So is Kamala Harris the candidate for 2028? No. Is she one of many voices in the Democratic Party? Yes. And I think that's what you are seeing. You're seeing Democrats from around the country, particularly young voters, first-time voters, getting engaged, getting excited, making small dollar donations. We heard about the RNC, but what wasn't mentioned is the fact that you have got rank-and-file Democratic Congress members raising more money than Speaker Johnson on average donations of $17 each. So that's an exciting analytic for the Democratic Party, and I really believe that the wind is at our back. Donald Trump was the master at pointing the finger and placing blame. But now that he's in power and has both branches or both chambers in Congress, that's extremely problematic for the GOP and particularly the style of politics.
Okay, let me get Cassie
that GOP
in here.
Is operated under.
Well, so I'm still wondering. I'm still waiting. What is the pitch to the younger voters? Because this is the trend that's happening with Gen Z support from ages 18 to 29. I mean, the trend is in Donald Trump and Republicans' favor, Cassie. So I have yet to hear Democrats with their big sell to the Gen Z voter.
Yeah, you got it. Because why did that younger voting bloc move Donald Trump and the Republicans' directions last fall? Because Donald Trump and Republicans celebrated pride and work, celebrated people who want to be able to have a good paying job, to be able to go out and support a family, find a spouse and have a family, and then hopefully be able to send your kids to a school where they can get an education that can then get them a job instead of being indoctrinated. It was a very simple message that resonated with many millions of Americans, literally the majority of Americans. Democrats have lost the plot, and they still cannot find it because who is still taking up oxygen in the Democrat Party? It's Mandami, it's AOC, it's people who are only talking about these social, cultural issues, anti-Israel, transgender, boys and girls sports, all of that stuff that's still running the Democrat message board. And they're not understanding that that's what lost them of the election. And then I just have to point at Mark Meredith's line where he says they're bringing in the elders to try and sway Gen Z. That's also the problem, is that they don't have messengers that resonate with people. And doing stretches to go out and get the vote or find your grassroots, that's not motivating. Having messengers and policies that excite people and think that, oh, that's a good idea for me and for my family, that's what gets people out there and excited and motivated.
Obviously, that's a reference to Nancy Pelosi coming out on that stage today. James Carville was with Jesse Waters in prime time, and he said this, David, on the next Democrat presidential candidate. Listen.
I don't care if it's a male or female, but I want somebody to talk in clear, definitive language and communicate with people in a simple, elegant way, and that's what the Democratic Party needs.
David, any thoughts on who that is?
Well, we've got a long time to go, and I think we're going to have many candidates to choose from. I think we're going to have a wide open field with many people putting their best foot forward. But look, the messenger, we've got multiple messengers, and I'd like to do the contrast with the GOP, where it's just become about Donald Trump. And whatever he wants and says is what the party does.
I hear
and
a
that has
pivot.
some
I'm giving you a chance to sell the Democrat policy pitch.
Well, it's very simple. I mean, the Democrats are talking about actually lowering prices, about making health care affordable and accessible.
What prices?
Well, the GOP, look, Donald Trump is backing off on his promises. Look, I mean, we don't even have to go down the
inflation
files
is down significantly from the last administration. I'm not quite sure where that talking point is coming from. Biden ran inflation up to historic levels, 40-year highs. It has not only come down, way down from that, but it is down under this presidency. Okay, let me.
Consumers are concerned about buying a vehicle, buying appliances.
Concerned about is not prices.
Economic analysis on it.
Okay. All right, so
tariffs
let me play out sound
that kind of came out of nowhere and are making people very concerned.
Okay. This is Ken Martin, the DNC chair. Let me play this out, and I'll get your reaction.
When you hit rock bottom, there's only one direction to go, and that's up. And that's what we're doing, right? We're building the type of organization we need to win now and to win the future.
Okay. So, Cassie, I guess that's the message. They hit rock bottom. I think the question is, was there an autopsy? Was there any lessons learned? Are we going to see a different party emerge from the last presidential election as we head towards the midterms? Final thought.
Well, you can't learn from your mistakes if you're not willing to admit that you made mistakes, including the issues with their candidates. But to David's talking points, which I've heard earlier in today as well, that the only reason that Donald Trump is having to work to bring down prices, the only reason that he is working with the Fed chair to try and get the interest rates to come down is because they went up under 4 years of Democrat leadership. Joe Biden did send rates skyrocketing, did send inflation up. The erratic and uncontrolled spending unchecked spending in Congress is the reason that we're dealing with all of these high prices in our lives. We had the opportunity to achieve our American dream under Trump 1. The American people felt that that had gotten too far out of reach under 4 years of Democrat leadership. And that is why President Trump and Republicans had a great election night last November. And they are working on restoring people's opportunity to achieve the American dream, including just yesterday, President Trump signed $9 billion of savings back to the American people into law, codifying into law those promises made and promises kept. So these talking
Cassie,
points
you're saying
amongst the
one
Democrats.
thing, but you're taking from the people that need it most and giving it to the rich and wealthy.
That's
it's like
simply
a
not
reverse
true.
Robin
That's
Hood.
simply not true. Again,
cutting
talking
spending,
points. You have no
but Donald
plan.
Trump just put
Your
all his
messengers are not
political capital in raising
inspiring.
the federal
David, I can tell you one thing.
So
I think
we're
that
talking about one side of the mouth, and the results aren't there. I
if
think
the
American people are
prices
going to see
talking
that.
point continues, I think you have to start understanding that prices are different than inflation. Inflation is the growth by which those prices go up, which went up
that
exponentially
is the same
under
type
the
of
last.
problem that the Democrats
I
got
don't think
into
you're here
in the
to
election,
listen.
trying
Okay.
to explain to voters what they're feeling. And yes, that is a hard thing. The inflation rate, the job approval or unemployment rate is one thing.
David, I think Democrats should try listening to voters, listening to the other people who are talking to you first, because that seems to be where y'all get yourselves in trouble. Is you don't listen, you tell people instead of listening.
We are happy to
that's what
continue this
Democrats are doing
conversation.
now. Look,
David,
when you
thank
win
you.
your party,
Cassie,
when you fail,
thank you very
fight.
much. All right.